Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started today about badging in the classroom. There is the Google Doc that's out there already. Um, if you guys have any questions about it, if you the survey is at the top and it's at the bottom, I have some links in here. But the link that I'm probably going to go with the most is the PowerPoint, which is right over top of the title. There are a lot of reasons why people are using badges, and if you ever did any research, there's a lot of argument as to why you should use them in the classroom. So I have some of that information out there that you can look at, especially when people think that you should use them for like motivation and recognition and not necessarily academics, because they could have a test and something like that and get the recognition through the test. So the badging is another way to see who knows what in the classroom other than a test. So like I said, there's a whole many reasons why you might want to use it, especially the differentiation. If you have kids that are special needs, you may want to use this way for them to learn different goals you want them to have in their class. You could give them a badge. So the first thing you need to think about, that we had to think about when we did this, is what do you need for successful implementation? So what is the goal you're trying to get to? You need to make sure that you have a time period for them to reach this goal. You need to have an evaluating system, I guess, for the values when you assign them. You have to create your badges and you got to track your badges. So these are all things that you have to think about. But the number one thing that you want to think about is your goal. Okay. What do you want them to know when they get this badge for you? Is it for content? If you want them to know it, then if they want them to know the content, then when is the time limit? If it's for behavior, what do you want to see? How often do you want to see that? If it's for motivation, what do you want them to do on their own? And do you want other people to recognize that they're doing it? And how many times are you going to have that recognized before they get a badge? So I'm going to tell you that setting up the goals is the first thing you need to think about. But once you do this piece, you'll be able to have this from year to year. So there's a link in here, and it gives you 7 ways to think about how you want to create your badges and what you want to have them for. But what I liked about this at the bottom is quality. Solve this many questions in this amount of time, read this many books. So you might want to have different categories for your learning badges. A mastery 1, mastery 2, mastery 3. It's all about thinking about how you want to set up what you want your classroom to look like. So they definitely give you some ideas on here on how you want to set it up. I mean, the personal habits I thought were great. You know, having kids do things on their own and recognize them and then giving them a badge for it. Great idea. Quality. They turn in a quality piece of writing for you, then they should get a badge. If they're able to collaborate with other people and not complain and create a product in a specific way. So this resource will help you design what you want those to look like. So the first thing that we did, and I just need you to know, is that we set up for the year what we were going to do, because we already set something up like this for us. So we thought in the month of September, what are 2 skills we would like our teachers to have? So all we made was we made this Google Doc that's out here that you can look at to kind of give you a plan for the year. So you may want to think about your plan for the year and how you want to distribute these, because you need to think of this as a whole year first. What does that concept look like? How often are you going to do it? And we even broke it down by months. Like in October, we want to make sure that you know, email and password, can they do RIMPs? Are they able to put their data in? Are they doing the interim assignments, which we didn't have last year? And then November, can they use Discovery Education? Are we using EdSite? So you may want to break this down and organize it for you to figure out what you want that to look like. We just decided to use this platform for us. So we could put different ideas in here. We even broke it down K2, 3 to 12. So you may want to break it down however you want. And then we decided that as far as, and I think I closed my tab. Oh, I closed my tab. I'll show you that in a second. But these were how the students were going to do this. We decided that we would make these sheets and give them directions, and they would all be the same. So every time that a student would go in and you would want them to do something, they would have these directions inside of there. Now, again, this is for doing maybe Gmail. You may want them to learn how to use gizmos. You may want them to learn how to use their online textbooks. You may want to create one of these that the students can work through and have that. There's also another example in here. This one came from Apple, which I thought was great. And again, this is the tech side, but it actually is just a picture of what you want them to use and what you want them to do, a challenge. And I always say, if you're going to have somebody use a piece of technology, if this is what if this is your goal, that they need to have a practice before you grade for content. So you can't grade something that you're teaching them for content if you haven't taught them the platform. So there are different ways you can set up what you want these to look like, but you definitely also want to post these in your room. So we made these challenges for the year. So for the year, they would know if you can earn each one of these, you get 50 points, which is 1 CEU for teachers, because that's what they would want. Okay. And then we put them together for the whole year. So this was our year that they could see, that would be posted in a room where they would go along and see all the different awards they could get. Now, they were only open for a month. If you didn't do this in September, you're not going to get that CEU. And this one would be open in October and November. And then there are special achievement challenges we also have, which this could be mastery if you wanted it to be mastery in your class. So it all depends on what you want, but the kids would definitely need to see what they're going for the year. Now, the reason why we set ours up like this is because I actually made stickers also. We decided that maybe we wanted to have a physical, not just a digital sticker, because there's a whole conversation on whether you want to be physical or digital. So we created a little, just a Google drawing for the stickers to go on, which is why I said I did a little hack with my stickers, because that's how I came up with them. So your first decision is, how do you want to make them, digital or physical? The ones that we made are digital, but if you go to Avery.com, which I love, and I'm just saying, when I go on my account, these are our projects. These are all the ones that we created. So I just bought a box of stickers, and they were 3-inch labels. I went up to the template, and then I just put whatever I want inside of them. And then when I was done, I just took a picture of this, and that's what I put on the poster. So the kid would actually get and if I wanted, I could put this in a drawing, and I could get the background out, and they would get just the circle that we have in here. But we wanted to be able to send a physical sticker too. Now we might be rethinking that. There's also another platform called Canva. So I'm going to give you a couple of them. And if you want step-by-step, this is a step-by-step directions for this teacher that she wanted to create badges in her class, and she wanted to use Canva to deliver them. And she wanted to give them in Google Drive. So she had all of her badges in Google Drive, and then she would send an announcement in Google Classroom. You've earned a badge, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And the badge would be attached. And you can see this is how she would send it to. Now she could send it to all students, or you could pick just that one student to send it to. So she gives step-by-step directions, but they're very easy. Canva is actually a very easy platform to use. I'm going to go out to Canva. Oops, I spelled it wrong. And this is a free platform. So I just created a free account. And you can actually go out to Canva and you can search for what you want. So there's all kinds of templates over here. In my designs, you can see I have this badge that they already had out there, and I just put McGuffey on there, Recess Guru. But you can change these and save them, and then you can see you can download them, and you can download them with a transparent background, and it's free, and you can use PNG, or you could do it a JPEG, but I would probably use a PNG and I would download it, and that would be one of my stickers I would put into a Google folder, and I would just call this Recess Badge. And make sure you know where you're saving these to once you download them. Food Festival. But again, this was a template that somebody else had, and then you can change it to however you want. But if I want to do search for something, I would just say badge. And then if I would go out here, come on, where's my, oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Here's the different badges they had. You can actually go in and you can edit any of these templates that are already done for you and save them. So they're pretty cool. And they're very easy to manipulate also. So whatever I want to go in, the words are over here. If I'm on the outside, you can see it's red. You can go over and you can, on the left, you'll see different things you can add in here, or you can add pictures, you can add grids, you can add a background if you want to. See, now I have a background behind my badge. You can add an effect or a filter, you can crop it, make it smaller. This is definitely a platform that you would want to play with and take a look at, but it's very, very easy to use. Some of the items in here, I'm going to tell you, you do have to pay for. Everything seems to be free right now, I have to tell you, because of COVID. But before this, some of the designs that I went in, I thought this would be a great place even to do certificates. So when I went in here and I made this certificate, I then couldn't download it because I had to pay for it. But right now it's free. So I was like, oh, I did all that work on that template. Now I can download it because it's free. So if this is a place that you want to go, again, you're allowed to download and keep whatever you want in Canva. And it's pretty easy to use. Another one that you might want to use that I have out here, again, is Google Drawings. And I know that Rachel went over that yesterday. But if you just go ahead and go out to your apps, and I can't get to it from here. Got to go to Drive. And I'm going to go into Drawings. And you will always want your badge to have the same shape. I would probably start with your circle. And if you hold the shift button and you drag, it will be more conformed. It won't be so crazy shaped. If you don't want the inside to be blue, if you want it to be a different color, you just hit your paint bucket. If I click in it, I can add words. I personally would probably insert word art just because I like word art. And I would put wacky writer. So that would be one of my badges. And I can see I would want it 2 lines. Come on. I should be able to. Or I can add 2. I can change the kind of font that's inside there. You can see I just go up and change whatever I want that to look like. And then I would definitely want to put an image on here. So you just go to your insert and then image, and I would probably search the web and put like a pencil. And I would insert that. And there's my pencil. And I mean, you can add pretty much whatever you want. I'm gonna give it a name. You could add arrows, you could add equations. So if you're working with math, you could put some equations in there. If I wanted it to have kind of a starburst, yes. Is there a question?
There's a question about Canva, I believe. Can
Okay.
you save the design now since it's free? When they start charging, will the badge still be saved in our file?
You have to, you're going to download it. So if you saw when I was on it, let me go back. You're going to want to save all of these. Nope, come on. Canva. Once I have my design and I have what I want, you're going to download these because you need to put them all in a folder in the same place so you can assign them to your students. So if I wanted, I would hit download. It's going to download that badge. You can see I saved it. It's at the bottom. But once you're done saving these, you're going to want to put them into a folder in your drive. So I would want to make a folder that says badges. Because when you go to assign these to your students in Google Classroom, you're going to go into your badges folder to find them. And then I'm just dragging them after I save them right into the badges folder. So I would go out to my class. If I was going to assign that to my student, I'm going to go, let's see. And I would, sorry, I'm going to go here. And I would probably just create some kind of announcement. But I would only pick a certain student. So I wouldn't pick everybody. I'm just going to pick, let's see. Dawson, I think she's in here. And I would say, congratulations. And then I would add something from the Google. So I would go into Google and there's the badge. And I would add that. And now she would get that she earned that badge. So if you wanted all the students to see who earned a badge, you wouldn't have to just send it to one student. You could send it to everybody. But part of creating these, which is a whole lot of fun, but like I said, in Canva, you're going to download them. In Avery, everything is just saved for you. But again, you still want to put it in a Google Drive folder because you want to assign these to people. The big part is creating why they're getting it, okay, their goal. And the other thing is to keep track of them. How do you keep track of who gets what badges and when? Because you can actually have some kind of competition between two classes. So if you did this and another class did it, you have to keep track of who gets what badges. So there's a couple ways that you can keep track. One of them is flippity.net. And they're actually going to give you a template, which is really cool. And it gives you directions on how to do that. And it also says, how do you set up your badges? And it gives you all these directions down there and how do you award them, and in your spreadsheet, how many, you can have 50 badges in there. Can you protect them with passcodes? You can actually put a passcode in for your students so other people don't see them, and there's a little demo in there if you wanted to see that. So this is an example. See how there's a little lock next to these people's names? You can't see what badges they had, but I can see how many what Charles has. With Dennis, it's going to ask me for a passcode. So I can't see Dennis's badges. I can only see the badges of the students that have them open. So if you wanted to keep it a secret, Flippity actually gives you a way to create a tracker with their template that that you're going to make a copy of. And you can see it gives you some examples of what you're going to do and where you're going to get the image from. See, there's the image. So the image that I would use would have be an image from my Google Doc where I saved my badges. So if you right click on your badge, see how you get the shareable link. You gotta turn it on. Turn it on. Maybe. There we go. So if you turn it on, I can get a shareable link. Why does it keep telling me it's off, even though I turned it on? There we go. All right, so I should have it, and I can go out here and I can paste it in here. And it should take me to my image. There it is. And then I would put what it is. And if the badge is available, pass the online safety quiz. So I put a little information down here. What was my requirements? Write a funny story with 70% or higher, which is very low, but I'm just going to put that. Okay. And then you would put your students' names here on who gets what, who gets awarded what badge. And you're going to see, here's the link here. So if I would go out, so let me say this, I'm going to put Heather, Mark, Rachel. And then they give you a link to copy. Come on. I just loaded this, so hang on. So an error in cell A2. I did this yesterday, so it should work. And when you open it, you should see your kids' names. I'm going to have to go in and recheck that, but that's basically what it is. And it gives you really cool directions. And I will make sure that whatever my error is, I didn't mess it up. Oh my gosh. This must not have been where I used it. I'm sorry. I have to apologize. You can also, I put this on here. This is another person who is tracking how, and this is very complicated. This lady is a Google Sheets guru on how she's keeping track of what students earn what badges, but there's a lot of really good ideas in here, especially for the math. She actually uses this mastery right here, which is really cool. Here's your badges. So number novice, and it gives you the qualifications for the badge. Mastered number sense problems with 70% accuracy or better. And then it gives you the algebra and what the requirements are that she gave for each math in order to earn those badges, which is really cool. And then you can see over here that if you've mastered 2 badges with a 70%er, then you get 10 times a multiplier, 100 times. Now, these are things that students would like, is to have these add up depending on how many badges you have. So you have to get 5 of them and you get 100 bonus points. If you get 8 of them, it's 1,000 bonus points. Again, this is all irrelevant because bonus points are imaginary. But if you have kids that like that competition and that feel of who's better than somebody else and they get bonus points, they may work for that. Now you can also see that she awarded these little mastery points. So if they got 70% or better on a test, that they got the 10 times multiplier. If they got a mastered 70% or better on the test on a mastery 2. So she has all of these down here with mastery. And then she created a leaderboard where she keeps track of who got what badges, which is really cool. So she'd have the students' names over here, what badges they earned, and then she also was able to add up the points. She included Prodigy also. So you can see these points are crazy, but points really mean nothing except to the kids in the class. So there's also a lot of other information in here, you know, ranking. I'm sorry, click done. And there's the ranking of where the students were, because all you have to do is put them in a spreadsheet and it will create a graph for you and show you who's at the top. So this person went all out. This is an example of keeping track from somebody else. Now, all they did is have the student's name over here, and then there were 4 levels of whatever it was. So Google Sites, there were 4 things they had to do to earn a badge. So if you completed all 4, you earned a badge, and then it would tell you when you got to the D, which means you earned the badge, how many badges they got. So you can see that this person only earned 1, got to the end to earn a badge. This person earned 2 badges because they got to the level. But you can see that they didn't do the number 1 badging, but they did the 2, 3, the levels 2 and 3, but didn't finish it either. So if you even cared if they did partial parts of your badges, you can start to create levels inside of each badge. So like if I was teaching somebody Gmail, maybe the first point would be, can you create a signature? Maybe my second one was, can you create it out of the office, you know, level 3, and then you would get the badge if you did all 4 of those things. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish with your student is what you want your tracker to look like. There's also a Google add-on, which is amazing, and I ask it to be open up for us. This video is so cool, step by step. This is where I did the where you put the badges in a file. This will actually create a folder for each of your students all on their own where they can go in and they can see the badges that you assign to each kid. The only kicker is that you have to create your badges before you get something like this. So super cool. I'm hoping that it is out there now. We'll see, because sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But it's for a Google Sheet in order to keep track of all of your badges. So let's go take a look. Google Sheet. And it depends on how long it takes them to open up an add-on. So if you find something you like and says we don't have it, all you have to do is ask. See, because I'm going to be very excited if they finally opened it. Magic Digital Badges. See, it says not whitelisted. So I'm still waiting for them to open it, and it's been taking a couple days, but that's been happening lately. You also have this badge list that's out there. I actually really, really love this, and I started using it, and it's free right now. So the badge list is a company where you can actually create the badges. You can put the information in here for the badges, and you can assign the badges. So this is really, really cool, and it's called badgelist.com. And you just create an account. You can also earn badges in here, but I haven't done that. What I did is I created a new group. So you would create your class in here, and you can say, I just created one that said Tech in the Yo. And what I did is, all I did was, see where it says new badge? This is actually very easy to do. You actually make your badge right inside here. So what I would go in and decide what I want that to look like. And let's say I want to do one for hard work. Maybe I want to put a hammer in there. Okay. I can also change the colors. So if I want it to be red and yellow, you can make them whatever color that you want. Okay. I want to make sure I give this badge a name. Again, this is free. And then I would put in here completing 10 homework assignments on time. Okay. And then when I'm done, I would add my requirements. So again, I would put hard work. And then I would put in here what it was for. I can choose that they have to have a link or an image of something and only available to the badge winner. I don't have to make it available to everybody. And then I would hit create badge. Now, if you look at this one that I have right here, you can see I made this Google Docs Dynamo and I added a link, but you have to copy and paste the link into a new tab in order to see what they need to do. And then they would submit the link back to me to show that they got it. And I can see that Andrea is in my class. So these are the people that can earn this badge. So anybody that signs up for my Tech in the Yo right here, they can earn these badges. So it's actually kind of cool. It keeps track of the badges. It puts the requirements for the badges. You can create the badges. And all of that is free. I believe there's a paid side for keeping everything completely secure. So I know that when I looked into it, you can only people that can be in your class you can see, but other people could see the badges, not actually who's earned them. And then when I went into my group settings, sorry, not here. I can do a new member and I can edit the group, and that's how you would add people into your group. So see, this is a free to the public. They can see everything. They just can't see who's in my group. The paid version has controls and it is not cheap. So, but this is an option, and I thought it was really cool as a way to house them, award them. You can see who gets them. Oh, there's Rachel in there too. So you'll have a picture of all your kids in here and what you're awarding them. Is there a question?
Nope.
There are other ones. There's Credly and a few other ones, but they are definitely not very easy to use. So there's a lot of things that you have to think about, especially what is it going to look like for you. Now, I can tell you that in hours, I wanted to go back and show you this too. And if anybody heard me talk about, we didn't roll this out. So this is what our theme was going to be. And we were going to give each one of these to each of the people in and we could do this digitally. I didn't have to necessarily print them out. And you can see that this would have been September, October, November, December. There were 3 badges you could earn each month. So sometimes students just like to see a format or a theme that you would create to do this. And I have to tell you, making this was extremely easy because all I did was go out and steal this Mario from the internet. And then I just added coins in. That was all I did for my theme. It was very, very easy to make. This was not complicated. The hardest thing I had to do was find the correct size, the page setup that I wanted for it to be long enough to fit all the months in. So depending on what you wanted your theme to be, so if you were doing Hogwarts, maybe you'd have a picture of Hogwarts and you could share this picture with each of your students, and even digitally, they could put their badges over top of the drawing if you shared it with them, because you could lock all this down and make this the background. I actually have a QR code in here because for what I would do personally to keep track of this for your students to see, I would make a site also, because if you're going to be online and not in a classroom, how are they going to see what they need to do? Where are you going to post the requirements for them to see? That's another good question. So if you're doing this digitally, you may want to create just a Google site, and you can see over here under pages, mine's hidden, that we just created this power up your tech in the Yo. And then here's what you would do. Here's the picture that they would have. There's little awards. Here's the challenges and when they could earn them. As we went along, I was going to create links across each one of these so they could click on them to earn to see what the badges were. So this is a way that you can house these. Once you create all this stuff, how, where are you going to post it for the students to see? This would be a place to do it. Again, creating a Google site is not difficult. People think that this is difficult. The new version that they've created, all it is drag and drop and brings everything over that you already have in your Google Drive automatically. So it's very easy to use. These are things that I had already created that I brought over into my site that I would want you to know. But again, I would have made these interactive as we went along, and teachers would work on them, or your students would work on them. Is there any questions about creating a site to house everything?
Not yet. We just have a comment that says nice photos, girls.
Nice what? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
Nice photos, girls.
Oh. I'm sorry, I was somewhere else. I was thinking about this and not the website, but you definitely want to start deciding what are your requirements. Again, inside of here, I really loved the, I think it's on the Canva. Yep. On how she was going to distribute these using Google Classroom. So you definitely might want to take a look at this if that's your mode of how you're doing everything next year, would be your LMS, your learning management system. You just want to make sure you create them and save them and put them in a folder so you can award them to them in the classroom. Okay. Decide who you want to see them and send them out. It's really cool and it's really easy, but you can create the badges pretty much anywhere you want to. It does not have to be in Canva. It does not have to be in drawings. Again, when we started ours, I cheated because I actually wanted to print these out. And they have templates that are already out there for you. Find your template. And I think when I bought the stickers, it was like a pack of 100, maybe 200 for $15, maybe, if that. And I could just do one sheet of each of these if you wanted to have them a physical sticker. Because our elementary kids, how they like to have something physical sometimes, not just digital. But again, that's not possible if we're teaching online next year. So the only thing I did once we created these, and again, extremely easy to use. If I just hit start a new project, the templates are already out there. I would just find the template that I wanted, which I believe mine was. Oops, I got to go back and look. I'm sorry, real quick. Gives me the number. Because when you type the number in that's on the box, that's the easiest way. 4421. So I just start my project.
It's 4221.
Oh, 4221. Thanks. There they are. I click on them. And then it gives you all kinds of templates that you can start to use. So some of them I stole from here. Some of them I didn't. You do have ones that are for school that you can go out here. Sports and activities, students and youth. There are tons of templates out here that I would download after they were done. Another easy thing that would be to use, so I'm just going to pick one. And it tells you, are you editing just one of your stickers or all of your stickers? And you can see one of these sheets has like 100 on it. And of course, I would edit all of them You can see I have it edit all. And then I just went in and I would be like, Google Guru. And then I would go into my little duck. If I didn't want that, I could replace the image. So I could actually upload stuff from my computer. I'm going to go into my badges. I would say maybe I wanted this. I would hit open. There's a little firecracker in there. You could change the color of the backgrounds. You can make the text curved. There's a lot of options on here. And then you would just hit preview and print. And I usually saved saved what I did. So, and it gives you directions in here how to print all of them, because you need a PDF. You need a PDF to print them.
Tiffany, we do have a question that says, which is easier, Canva or Avery?
So I'm just going to tell you from my personal point of view, Avery was very easy for me. But again, I have to take pictures and it doesn't give me a blank background if I want one. I have to take a picture of the templates once I'm done. So I would hit save, practice. I personally, like I said, would probably use Canva now that I know. But if you wanted to do physical ones also, you would use Avery. So what I did was I went back and all I did was, again, I'm going to open. Why isn't it not letting me? Go back. And it saved them all. I had to actually take a screenshot of these. This is not, so it's not, so I'm going to have the white background around the circle. So unless I edited that out, it's just a picture, a square picture of a screenshot of a sticker.
Cheryl asks, is Avery free all the time or just for a period of time?
Avery is free all the time because they want you to buy their stickers, but Avery is free. It's absolutely free. But again, you're going to want to put these, and all this is a Google Doc that we put them in, where you would want your students to see what they're going to be achieving and in what month. Let them know what's happening. So 2 hardest things you have to do. One is create the actual physical or the digital sticker and create the goals. Like why am I earning this? And giving them that template on how they could reach their goal. Trying to make sure. Oh, so I have some examples out here of badges that your students can actually earn. So out in Common Sense, if you wanted them to do some digital citizenship, they can actually use these right here, and it actually gives you the requirements on the unit and how they can earn the badge. So you don't have to actually create the requirements if you want them to act a certain way online. They could actually earn these badges and they give you all the requirements that are already out there through Common Sense. Another application that we have, and I don't know if you know this, is we have Schoology. If you wanted to use that instead of Google Classroom, not that I'm suggesting that, we have this, and there's badges inside there with requirements that you can give out also. So that's another way that you can track your badges and give them out. Requirements are a big thing though. I didn't want to glaze over that too much because it's all going to be how you set it up for your students. And there were a couple blogs that I read that were talking about when you do these, have your students recognize other students X amount of times to earn a badge. You know, caught being good. Well, if you're going to get a badge for caught being good, how many people have to submit your name, and how many times, and how many different people have to submit your names? It can't be your best friend giving me the same name over and over again for you to earn the badge. And then there could be levels, you know, of caught being good. So you're caught being good 5 times, so you're a level 1. Well, if you're caught being good like 100 times, I think there should be maybe a mastery level badge. But that's all how you want to set up your classroom. Themes work the best. With all of when I went to ISTE, they had a whole, like I said, Hogwarts and houses, and they had 4 classes that rotated through, and then their badges all had to do with a kind of a magical theme, and very easy to do. And the other thing is, if you create the badges in something like Avery or Google Drawings, the next year, if I had a theme that was Hogwarts, so something was magical on here, it would be very easy for me to go back into my Google Drawing and change it for the next year. So you want to have something that, you know, if you're making a theme, is editable over and over again for you to give those out. Students will work for points. They play video games all the time. Just making sure.
Can you go back to the last slide for a second?
Which slide?
Ms. Dawson asked, can you go back to the last slide?
The very last slide? This slide? Oh, glad she said that. So Wakelet is a new place for you to keep a lot of information and share it, anything digital online. So I shared this with you out there. And it's all about badging and different guidelines and different examples of how people used it. Building a badge from ISTE. So these are just some things that I've collected and I'm sharing with you. So it's just a link. You can actually put whatever you want in here. I have, so if I wanted to save this, I have a little extension on it. I would just hit reload. And then when I reload it, I can just choose where I want to save it to. I absolutely love this. And sharing these are so easy, and there's so much content out there. So I would just save this to badging. And now when I go into that shared, that'll be in here that I shared it with you. Love Wakelet. Ride the wave. That's what they say. If you use ClassDojo and Creative, is there a copyright issue? There's not a copyright issue because you're not using it for public use. Almost everything you use, if you're using it just for class use, is free, but you can't publish it to, you know, everywhere. That would be my only concern. Like, you're not putting it out on the internet for everybody to have. You're only sharing it with the students in your class.
And then she wanted you to go actually to the goals slide.
Goals. Organize goals. So your goals are, what are your goals for? Are they for content, behavior, motivation? And these are the questions you need to ask yourself when you're creating up the template of how they're going to earn it. You know, if you want them to you know, perform a certain math task. I showed you that lady had 70%. You have to pass your test with 70% or do 70% accuracy on one test to be a master level 1, you know, and that's all what you want. What do you want your goals to be for your students? And if it's for a behavior, what do you want to see and how often do you want to see it? Okay, so I want my students to not get up and go to the pencil sharpener. Well, how often do you see that? Because that is an issue where they just get up and walk around the class. If you can have a student sit in their seat for, 10 days in a row, then give them 10 points. It's little things that will make kids that don't usually do well on a test want to earn these digital badges for you. Are there any other questions?
I don't see any yet.
Okay. So that was just my basic presentation. I can tell you that when I did this, When we created this, just for us, this was myself, Andrea, and Rachel for the year. I did not do this by myself. They worked with me. We decided what the names were going to be. We picked a theme. So if you're working with somebody else, it will make your life so much easier, because once you make these requirements, especially for behavior, you're going to use them from year to year to year to year. And if you're working as a team, you want to have those behaviors that your whole team wants to see, not just you. So that's just something for you to think about and when you put these together. I definitely didn't do this alone.
Sorry. Heather says, thanks. Now to plan it out. That's the tough part.
Yes, I know. I know. That was probably the most difficult part, is finding a template and how are we going to get across to people what we wanted them to know. And every template I've seen for doing this is different. So that's why I just shared the one that we did. I'm trying to remember where it was. That's not it. It's not it either. It was in my folder that when we did them, you can see here's September, and we use the same template. You just have to pick a template, make something easy for your kids, call it whatever you want, and then we just use the little squares. Ours just happened to be pictures. Yours can be pictures of whatever you want. This is sitting in your seat for, whatever time of day, or, you might not have to do one for everything, but something that's more complicated, you definitely want to set up one of those goal sheets for and have them turn it into you.
And I noticed that Tiffany used one of the free templates from Slides Mania for distance learning. So something like that might be nice to use. Like you could just change the topic, but there's like sections where you can add a video to explain stuff, and then have directions, and then the badge, etc.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it that way too. Yeah. See, it says Slides Mania over here. If they had, and this actual template already came with places that would take you back to the beginning. I deleted all that. But I can go to, let's see. If I go back to the very beginning, this is what it looked like when I got it. This was just a template. I could drop a video in here. It has an audio file. So you could have just each slide could be how you earn a badge. Each one. And that's it. Just a little video, or it doesn't even have to have a video. It can just be audio. It can just have your information on the inside. It's pretty cool. And then if they click on these, if they click on number 1, it actually goes to the first activity. Number 2, you could make it the badge, and it would go to the second badge. So this was a really cool template. And then you could have your students in here, and maybe you could put their badges at the bottom. But Slides Mania is actually really good and gives you a template, so you could have your badges right here. And again, just put your goals right in there on each slide. It doesn't have to be as complicated as the one that we did. But that's it's a pretty cool template, the one that I had. It's just putting together what you want. Well, if there's no more questions, it's kind of, we need you to take the survey. Don't forget to take the survey. We did put some more, and I think I closed my tab. Some more webinars out there for next week under our webinars, just as a little plug. So we're going to be doing, remember that the HyperDoc that where you can link, and you guys were talking about the choice boards. That's going to be similar to this HyperDoc, would be giving them a choice board. That's going to be on the 13th. And then we're going to have a new Google certification, and all the updates in Google. We're going to try to cover as many as we can on Friday with Khan Academy and the whiteboards. So catch us for that next week.